The 2026 World Cup group stage in Atlanta opened with a match that most analysts expected to be a formality. Spain arrived with a squad valued at over $1 billion, featuring reigning European champions and recent Ballon d'Or winners. This data visualization compares Spain's massive footballing infrastructure against their opponents, Cape Verde, an island nation of just 529,000 citizens, making their World Cup debut. An elite global football machine was lining up against a country with a population smaller than the city of Atlanta itself. As the match began, Spain focused their attack on a single point of failure in the Cape Verdean defense, their goalkeeper, Josimar Diaz. Diaz is 40 years old. He plays in Portugal's second division, and on the back of his jersey is the name he actually goes by, Vozinha. He spent the match staring down a Spanish front line overflowing with elite academy prodigies, some young enough to be his children. The barrage started immediately, with Spain launching the first of what would become 27 shots directly at the veteran. The question was whether the 40-year-old would crack under the pressure or if he could somehow hold the line. Spain spent the majority of the game pinning Cape Verde deep inside their own half, dominating possession and probing for weaknesses. But when Ferran Torres struck the crossbar, Vozinha fully extended to tip the dangerous rebound over the net. To understand how an obscure, lower-league goalkeeper developed the reflexes to deny world-class strikers, you have to look at the coastal streets of São Vicente. Vozinha never had an elite academy education. He learned the game playing street football against older, bigger kids, taking bruises and learning to survive through sheer physical resilience. That chaotic, unstructured upbringing built a highly unorthodox defensive style. Spain's clinically precise, academy-trained attacks kept crashing into a goalkeeper who relied entirely on raw, hard-earned instinct. As the clock ticked on, Spain sent wave after wave into the penalty area, forcing Vozinha into increasingly desperate saves. This timeline maps his professional reality. While opponents signed multi-million-dollar contracts, Vozinha spent 14 years grinding through obscure clubs. During his 30s, when most players peak or retire, he wandered lower leagues to keep his World Cup dreams alive. He was playing for the name on his back. Vozinha translates to little voice, a nickname given to him by the grandparents who raised him while his parents worked long hours to keep the family afloat. His 40-year-old body was carrying 14 years of accumulated survival instincts, priming him perfectly for this exact 90-minute siege. Entering the final minutes of stoppage time, Vozinha stood completely alone against a relentless Spanish offensive. He carried a deep personal weight. The grandparents who raised him had recently passed away, and his mother was entirely absent from the stands. She was blocked by a geopolitical hurdle. The U.S. required Cape Verdean citizens to post a prohibitively expensive $15,000 bond to secure a visa. He was physically isolated from his family on the biggest stage of his life. Yet that exact connection to his roots is what drove him to lock down the goal. When the final whistle blew on a historic 0-0 draw, Vozinha completely collapsed to the turf in tears. At 40 years old, he had officially become the oldest goalkeeper in World Cup history to record a clean sheet on his tournament debut. This chart illustrates the immediate global reaction. Over the next few hours, his digital footprint exploded, as his following rocketed from 50,000 to over 5 million. His tearful post-match interview explaining his mother's visa situation quickly reached the highest levels of the U.S. government. Within days, U.S. House Leader Hakeem Jeffries personally intervened to waive the visa fees, ensuring she could attend Cape Verde's next match. Back in the stadium, Cape Verdean fans celebrated their nation's first-ever point on the global stage. The highest levels of global football are heavily dictated by billion-dollar valuations and elite training facilities. But occasionally, a player forged entirely in obscurity steps onto the pitch and silences the loudest giants in the world.